She shoots, she scores. We are going straight into this. Dallas Wings got the number 1 pick in the 2025 WNBA Draft lottery. They are projected to take the UConn superstar guard, Paige Bueckers. Paige Bueckers is looking like the number 1 pick for the Dallas Wings. Jordan, what are your thoughts about Bueckers? And let's just get into it right quick. What are your thoughts about this?
I mean, kudos to the Dallas Wings for getting Paige Bueckers. They had the highest odds of securing her. It's widely assumed that they're going to take her with the number 1 overall pick. She is gonna, she's gonna be a great addition to wherever she goes. And I mean, they were able to pick up a generational talent. I think that she has generational talent. I think she's gonna be a great player even in her rookie year.
Top 5. We did this top 5 point guard next year.
Yes, she will be.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Y'all make sure y'all double tap the screen, heart, share it, all of that good stuff. But yeah, the fact that Dallas now, the last time they had a number 1 pick, it was Charlie Collier.
Right.
Obviously, that didn't pan out
Right.
the way it needed. Who? The way it needed to. But now Dallas has a generational point guard and Paige Bueckers. Hey, PB. Okay, let's start this. Let's start it like this. Maddie Segrist was at the draft. She was representing the Dallas Wings.
Yes.
Rickea Jackson was in the building. Angel Reese was in the building. But now we have a generational talent at point guard. I want to read this comment. Catherine, shout out to you, Catherine, for putting this. Do we live in a world where Dallas passes on Paige because I can't see this? We don't live in that universe.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Like, there's no way that they pass on her. I mean,
why would they? Why would they?
It's kind of widely assumed that. I mean, okay, so you're looking at what, like Kiki. I know that Olivia Miles is kind of flying up the radar for a lot of people, but in no world would you pick Olivia Miles if Paige Bueckers is still on the board. I mean, you could make an argument for Kiki depending on what you're looking for, but
boy, if you don't stop with that.
I mean, I think most people would pick Paige. I can't see a world where they don't, barring some catastrophic injury or something like that. God forbid.
Obviously. Yeah,
right.
So these were Kurt Miller's words about picking Paige and getting the number 1 pick. I spoke to him after the game or after the draft lottery. He talked about there's going to be somewhat of an adjustment, but they don't foresee anything. And another thing, I'm going to read this quote, but another thing he mentioned, they're going to bring back Satu Sabally and do everything in their power to make sure she is staying in Dallas. So look, I'm going to read this quote and then I'll tell you about what my predictions are. She will be best on the Sparks for sure. Catherine, I'm gonna pause on reading that quote right here, and I'm gonna start here right now. There is no world in which Paige Bueckers will have a better career playing in Los Angeles right now than she would in Dallas. Dallas already has 2, not 1, but 2 all WNBA performers right now in the prime of their careers. So if you're telling me you get a point guard who could just walk in and play with a Satu who can give you 20 and 20 and 5 and 5, play with an Enrique who can give you 25 and 5, it doesn't compare to a Rickea Jackson, who I believe will be one of the best scorers in this class. It doesn't compare to a Cameron Brink, who's coming off of an ACL injury, so you already know you're going to have to give her more time. And it doesn't compare to having a De'Erica Hamby, who had probably arguably her best season of her career. Now, if you're going to talk about lifestyle and the fact that you're in Los Angeles and you're going to be marketed a certain way at X, Y, and Z, I'm all for you got me on that. But if you're talking about just strictly on a team and a talent perspective, this Dallas Wings team was 1 year removed from making the Final Four in the WNBA Finals, right? As a top four. Now you're bringing in a guard. Again, they got wrecked by injuries this year, which is why they were able to get this pick with Satu being hurt, with other players being hurt. But now you're getting a player like Paige who could just walk into the spot and play with these 2 talented all WNBA performers. Are you kidding me? There is no world in which Los Angeles, again, we would all like to see it. I'm not going to say all that. Y'all, I don't even know who the y'all is in this situation. Some people would like to see her in Los Angeles playing with Rickea, which I don't blame her. playing with a Cameron, playing with a De'Erica, playing with Ray Burrell, Azare Stevens. These are great prospects, great talented players in their own right, but they do not right now. They do not compare to the talent that Enrique is, who Jordan we both had as in our top 10. I have Enrique as my 7th best player in the league, and I have Satu as my 5th or 6th best player in the league. It doesn't compare. It does not compare. And this is the kicker. Paige walks into a UConn franchise or a UConn organization, what a collegiate program that has a stacked roster, right? And for 4 years, she's done a lot of great things. Now she gets to walk into a WNBA franchise and have a lot of stacked roster with a lot of great things. So the fact that you're telling me that she's walking into a better or worse situation by walking into Dallas, you must be out of your mind or you don't watch the Dallas Wings enough. But I want to read this quote from Curt Miller. What an exciting day for the Dallas Wings. We know what the #1 draft picks have done to their franchises and how they have changed the trajectories of their teams. This team right now, you can put it down in the banks. They're going to the playoffs. I got them as a top 5 seed in the WNBA. Top 5. Top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got them as a top 5 seed in the WNBA. I think they're going to be better than Connecticut and Seattle. Go ahead, Jordan.
They're going to be better than Connecticut and Seattle.
You can put that down. Yes, they will. The Dallas Wings will have a better record than the Connecticut Sun. Yes.
So they will be the 5 seed. They will be the 5 seed.
At least. I'm not saying they will at least be the 5 seed. Yes.
So they'll be behind New York, Minnesota, Indiana.
No, they're going to have a better record than Indy, Jordan.
They're going to be better than Vegas.
Yeah. Are they going to be better than Vegas? We got to see what Kelsey Plum does. And I don't know. I couldn't answer that right now, but they will absolutely be better than Connecticut. They will be better than Indiana. They'll be better than Washington. They'll be better than Los Angeles. They'll be better than, give me some more teams. Seattle. Give me another team. Bring another team.
Connecticut.
Give me another team.
Vegas.
Vegas, maybe. It depends on who they bring back.
I just think that this is probably, because like all those players that you listed for the Sparks, they all have like so much potential, but they're not there yet. You have 2 like fully formed superstars, former all first team WNBA players that are already there. They're in like the prime of their careers. Satu and Enrique. I think that the sky's the limit for this team. If they all come together, it's the easiest. Yeah, I know, right? It's the easiest transition for Paige for sure. Because like, I mean, what were the other places like Washington, Chicago, Sparks? Like,
maybe
this is probably the best place she could have ended up for, you know, in terms of like basketball.
Yes,
just like easiness. Yeah.
On a basketball note, you're giving. Okay, let's assume she does. Okay. If Paige doesn't want us, let's assume she doesn't. I got her averaging 15 to 17 points per game and at least 7 assists. I got her at 15 and 7. A lot of people be holding her to this Caitlyn standard, which I think is honestly unfair because, like I told you, y'all know how I feel about CC. That's another monster in itself. But if she's just dishing the ball to Enrique, getting Enrique easy shots, which Enrique is gonna love, like. Paige Bueckers, if y'all haven't watched her, the girl can do anything off the dribble.
Yeah, she's
like she is really great. She's not a good player. She's a really great player.
Yeah.
I want to read. Let me read some of these comments before we continue, Jordan. I want to read a lot of these comments. He said, Iverson. Shout out to Iverson. He said, "Rip Paige's early career." I'm gonna disagree. I would say blank no. Y'all know the word I'm trying to say. Beyond Blessed said, "Y'all need to be serious about Dallas. They were never winning a championship." I mean, I didn't say that they're winning one now. I said that they're going to be elite. You could bank it. They're going to be a top 5 seed next season in the WNBA. Bro, how did the Wings win this lottery? Jesus. Let me read some more of them. I appreciate you, Oz. And y'all can chime in. We don't know if Connecticut will resign everyone. I don't care if they do resign everyone. I still would pick Dallas over them right now. I would pick Dallas right now over a Connecticut roster right now.
Well, first of all, Connecticut's getting older, and they were already kind of old. You know, or I guess I'm thinking of DeWanna Bonner specifically, but they also don't have a coach anymore.
Correct.
You know, they like Stephanie White's not there anymore. So, and speaking of coaches, this team currently doesn't have coach either. So, so we have to see who the Wings.
Oh, that's a great. Okay, Jordan, that's a great point. They need a good coach. Let me just
which
say that.
coach? Which coach?
Dallas will be a 3 seed behind Minnesota and New York. I agree with that. I mean, I'm not going to go that high, but we'll see. They're going to have a better record than Indiana is a biased take. I have no clue about that, June Doll. And if you want to argue with me on that one, I would love to hear your opinion. Tell me who is better than, honestly, outside of Caitlin. So I would say Caitlin is the best player on both rosters. Outside of Caitlin, who has the more talented roster, Indiana or New York? Indiana or Dallas? We can start there, Jordan. Let's start there. Who do you feel like? Okay, let's do it like this. Would you rather have Aaliyah Boston or Satu Sabally?
I mean, I'd rather have Satu Sabally.
Okay. Would you rather have Kelsey Mitchell or Enrique Ogumbawale?
I'd rather have Enrique.
Boom. So who got a better big three? It's the one with 2 all WNBA performers, and now they just got to fill out the roster. Now, if you're gonna go Lacey and JC, I'm gonna go Lexi. If you're going to go Maddie Siegrist or Nalissa Smith, that's for you to pick. I'll probably still go Nalissa Smith.
Would you rather go? Well, I mean, would you rather go Stephanie White or blank?
And insert coach here. Yeah, I agree. You are delusional. I don't think that I am. Potential does not equal wins. I agree with that. Aaliyah is not better than Satu Sabally right now. That's insane. Aaliyah Boston has never made first team all WNBA nor second team all WNBA. Satu Sabally has already made first team all WNBA. That I love Aaliyah Boston, but y'all are tripping on that. Satu has missed 70% of games in her career. Okay, cool. Like that doesn't mean she's not better. You're not taking team chemistry into consideration. Now here we go with team chemistry. Again, I knew this was going to trigger. It's going to trigger the Fever fans this season. And this is another thing I'm going to say about the Indiana Fever fans. A lot of them are going to say, "Oh, I forgot what I was saying last night, Jordan." But it was this is what they're going to say. "Oh, Paige has always played on stacked teams. She's playing with an all WNBA performer in Enrique and an all WNBA performer in Satu. And the fact that she came from UConn, she's always played on great teams around her." You just hear me. That's going to be the narrative floating around Paige Bueckers. I don't care if she does not average 20 and 10 next season. As long as they win, which they will do, it'll prove into her benefit.
I mean, I feel like a lot of great players have played on stacked teams, and they don't get penalized. And in the long run, no one cares. Like,
correct,
dude. My WNBA GOAT played on the most stacked teams ever. Cynthia Cooper, like she played with Cheryl Miller, and then she goes and plays with Cheryl Swoops in the pros, and no one really cares or factors that in. So I don't really agree or care about that take.
Riverdance said, "Thank you for giving me this idea. You gotta tell me what idea to talk about." Dallas were losing when they had a full team. Not really. That's not really true. If Satu is so great, why didn't she turn Dallas around this past season? She did. I mean, they did. They won more when she was in the game than when she wasn't. But again, I'm glad the way it worked out. I could care less. I don't care that they didn't win 10 games. I don't care. We're talking about right now. The fact that talk to me about why Satu was able to take them to a Final Four already.
They won just enough
to get the number one pick.
Secure Paige Bueckers, exactly.
Correct. That's the most important thing. That was the most. I don't care about was the most important thing.
Yeah, right. Like,
yeah.
I mean, was there some tanking going on? Probably, but I mean, so they won. The process worked. So
if people don't realize, they beat the New York Liberty this season, and they beat the Minnesota Lynx this season. So keep that in mind, and that's with just Enrique. So keep that in mind. Paige being on a stacked team gives me something to complain about as a Fever fan. Technically, it is true they were losing. They were just missing Natasha Howard. They had a bunch of injuries this season, if y'all watch the Dallas Wings. So the fact now, actually, let's ask this question, Jordan. So obviously, Paige is in Dallas, and shout out to Paige. She's going to be living her best life. Does this mean, does Satu Sabally re-sign with the Wings because they have a generational point guard like Paige on this team?
She should. She most definitely should. Well, I'll say this. I think she should, but I think that, listen, Satu Sabally is going to be a star wherever she goes.
Yes.
So, but I mean, I would want to stay in Dallas and kind of grow with Paige and continue growing with Enrique. That's what I would do. But I mean, she has a reason to stay now.
Oh, she has a huge reason. Yeah.
Huge reason to stay now. Absolutely. Whereas she might not have had that before.
Unless she could find a way to New York City and playing with her sister, I would say right here in Dallas because you got the best.
Yeah.
She has already shown that she's taking this team deep in the playoffs, and I don't foresee this team doing worse than they did. They're not going to do worse than they did last year. They're not going to do worse. Now I'll tell you this: if Dallas really messed themselves up by not drafting Angel Reese, because if they would have drafted Angel and they bring in Paige to this team, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. It is a wrap. Period. But because they missed out on Angel this year, let's say Lauren Betts declares for this draft, and let's say she slipped. If they can bring in a Lauren Betts from UCLA with this, bro, they're in such a great position. Y'all just don't even know.
So it's like, I mean, we kind of mentioned this off air. They did not draft Angel Reese. They drafted JC Sheldon. Well, when you bring in Paige Bueckers, she's obviously starting. So that means that JC Sheldon now is going to probably go to the bench.
For sure.
But in the WNBA, bench players they don't play that much, you know.
Play. JC Sheldon should be, whoever the coach is, they should have JC playing at least 25 minutes next game, or next season, rather. Again, it's funny that you say this, Jordan. There's so many combination lineups. So, again, you're going to need at least 3 guards. You're going to need somebody to spell either Enrique or Paige Bueckers. So you can expect to see JC playing regardless. Also, how about this? They can have a combination of lineups where you're playing a Satu at the 5, you have Enrique at the 2, you got Paige at the 1, JC at the 3, and a Maddie Segrist at the 4, and you have a small ball lineup that's able to run up and down the court, and JC can play defense, Paige can play defense, or like you have enough versatile players where you can make up for your difference. Satu is 6'5", so she could play center. Obviously, she's not like as girthy as a Kalani or as a Tierra, but she still has some size, and I'm not saying she could guard Asia Wilson, and that's not what you would need her to do. You would just need her to have a body in front of her. They can play. They can have creative. It depends on who the coaches that they're bringing in, but they can have a lot of creative lineups to get JC Sheldon spot minutes or sometimes. JC Sheldon is going to be a really important piece to this team, regardless. Just like Lexi Ho was to the Indiana Fever, you're going to have to play her. And again, the fact that she's not the primary facilitator, because that you just want. It's funny. This is what Rob was talking about, Jordan. The fact that you can just have JC kind of play off ball and go score the ball versus trying to figure out who needs to get open, that's even better for her and her benefit. She'll just be able to score the ball. And depth is a lot of important. Radford, we're going to talk about LA. We're going to get to that. I promise. We're going to get to that.
They could also use Sheldon's lockdown defense too.
Yeah, I mean, I thought you were trying to be funny.
As a defensive.
I did. I thought you were trying to be funny.
She's a pretty good defender.
Yeah,
she's a solid defender. Yeah,
she is. She really is, though. Dallas will definitely be a problem. JC is going to be the 3. She is not going to be the 3. She's not going to be starting. Braden. She's not going to be starting. You're going to have if Maddie Segrist should be starting if her finger is back to normal. She's like a 40% 3-point shooter. And that's either at the 4 or the 5. I'm sorry, at the 4 or the 3. And then you're going to have Satu at the 3, and they're going to have a Kalani, Kalani and or Tierra. Right. If I'm Dallas, I love Tierra McCowan. Tierra has been great. It's been real. If I'm Dallas, if your name is not Maddie, JC, Paige, Enrique, Satu, it's been real. It's been real, y'all. I appreciate what you've done for the organization. It's been real. Kurt Miller is going to be making changes. If you don't think that, it's been real. So we'll see that. I don't think JC will be playing the 3 though. I think she'll be a backup point guard, and then she'll get spot minutes at the 3-point line. But we'll see, because if they do a 3-guard lineup as a starting lineup, that'd be kind of bad. That wouldn't be beneficial for their team at all. I would not encourage that. But speaking of lineups, Jordan, let me ask you this. So speaking of Paige and Enrique, are they the best backcourt in the WNBA if they're able to draft Dallas? If she's able to go to Dallas?
Like right off rip?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, let me think about that.
What's good, Diggs?
Kelsey and Caitlin are pretty good.
Okay, let's start right there, because that's who I have as the number 1 draft, like the number 1 backcourt. Is Paige and Enrique a better backcourt than Kelsey and Caitlin? Shout out to Pink. Thank you, Pink. I appreciate it.
I don't think so.
Really?
Not yet. Not yet. Like,
tell me why not.
Because I think that Caitlin is so impactful offensively, what she brings to the offensive floor, and also Kelsey. I mean, Caitlin empowers Kelsey, right? But Kelsey also bails out Caitlin on the offensive end. So they have this like weird synergy that actually works together. very well. I mean, Kelsey Mitchell's not like the greatest defender in the world, but she could take on some of the more difficult defensive assignments for Caitlin. Whereas Paige and Enrique, I mean, on paper, these are like incredible talents, but I don't think they're better. I mean, I haven't seen them play a minute, so
I haven't either, and I understand what your reservations are, but I'm going to say this already: Paige and Enrique are better defensively than Kelsey and Caitlin.
that is, yeah, I can assume that, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so let's stay there. So they're better on defense. Now, offensively, obviously, Caitlin is in her league of her own, so I'm not going to disagree with you on that. But you have an Enrique who's good for 20. She's good for 20, period.
22.
And then you're good. Then you have a Paige who is a very efficient. She's a very efficient guard. You know what I'm saying? Like I can honestly, I'm not expecting Paige to average 50, 40, 90 her rookie season with her shooting splits, but I do expect her to do that in her career a few
Right.
times.
Yeah.
And I think they got the best backcourt in the WNBA, Jordan. And I'm not trying to be like hyperbolic. I really do think that.
I mean,
I think that
who would even be a comparison? Like,
it
I'm
would be
trying
the
to
two of
think.
them. It would be the other two, Caitlin
It'd
and
be,
Kelsey.
yeah, I mean, yeah, probably. Would you? Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I personally would still take Kelsey and Caitlin if they're even together next year. Uh, because I feel like they kind of synergize pretty well. But I mean, this duo definitely has more potential for sure. Because
You know,
Paige is, I mean, we don't know how good Paige is going to be because the Paige we see versus the Paige that was promised, 3-4 years ago. I mean, she's coming pretty close to that potential, man.
and that's funny. So Dreamdall called me out with my 50-40 take. So I'll say this right quick. So Paige in her career, this is her career at UConn, Jordan. Her career, she
She's
has shot.
crazy.
She's shooting 65% from the floor.
Crazy. She's so smart. Like she's
She's
such a.
shooting again. I'm gonna repeat it. Go
I know.
65% from the
I
floor,
know.
Jordan.
I
4
know.
assists and not in less than a turnover a game, Jordan.
She's so
Oh my
she's
god,
so like
this is about to go
she's
crazy.
so
This is about to go
smart,
crazy. This is about
dude.
to go crazy.
Her decision making and her like ability to just kind of figure out what to do and just make the right efficient play. You can't really rush her either, and she's just really good, dude. She's just
Jordan,
a really good. I know.
let's look at
I know.
the splits. 65% from the floor, 50% from the
I know.
three. And this is the crazy part. She's shooting the worst from the free throw line. For her career, she's 53, 42, and she's 7% away from averaging 50, 40, 90 for her career.
I know.
Are you
Do you think that
kidding me,
Caitlin
bro?
calls her and is like, "How do you have so few turnovers? Like, can you tell me what you're doing, Paige?"
Every single season she's played, her turnovers have gotten worse. So from a freshman year, 2.5 to 1.7, 1.5 to 0.3, dog. Bro, they got the point guard of thank you, bro. Dallas is saying thank you, Jesus. Dallas just got a point guard that's gonna be there for a bro. I don't know if they're sleeping on Paige. And like I told KG, I was like, okay, I was a quarter tank, bro. I'm full. You put me on F. I'm full. I'm on full right now with Paige, bro. I don't know what this. She don't take risky shots. She takes good shots. That's a great part of her game.
Yeah, she's just really smart. Like her decision making is so good, you know? I don't know, man. That's
You
crazy.
telling me that she can't rival? Look, look, look,
I
look,
just
bro.
I just want to see it. I just want to see it, at the pro level for a minute.
Look, I got them as the best backcourt in the W the minute she steps on the court. And I love Caitlin. I think Caitlin is a better player than both of them. But the two of them combined, it's not even a question. And we're gonna see how, bro. If Paige averages four assists and like 1 turnover a game, or even 5 assists and a turnover a game, which this is crazy, bro. Her numbers are insane. If you talk about just as efficiency as a point guard position. Like shout out again. Dallas is about to get the best guard that they've had next to Tweety Nolan. And I like Tweety Nolan and Enrique is up there too, but
I think
Enrique said
Braden just made a great point. Paige
go,
isn't
go.
risky, which is both good and bad.
No, it's not.
And
It's not bad.
and I kind of agree with that statement because there are times that we want her to be more aggressive. And that's been one of her main criticisms where she just doesn't like just go into the action and kind of force stuff, which sometimes players have to do. I'm just better than you. I'm just gonna get right to the hole. I'm not gonna pass anybody. I'm just gonna figure this out on my own. And she doesn't really do that. She's Kirk Cousins. We need a Hail
No,
Mary, but if
nah,
it's not there, we're
you
just gonna
tripping.
dump it down.
She ain't Kirk Cousins. You tripping. I will never go that far. She ain't that. She ain't no Kirk Cousins. I like Kirk. I like Kirko, but she ain't that. Ghost foot. Paige has bad knees. I needed to complete. Obviously, this is obvious. What we're
That is
speaking
true.
is barring injury. And again, this is the beauty of her game. Even if she got bad knees, she's still busting your favorite team's ass. And the fact that she's been able to just dominate again, only freshman in collegiate history to win AP National Player of the Year. Period. That's something you cannot take away from her, no matter what anybody says or thinks. She walked in as the best player in college as a freshman. It's been 4 years. The only thing I wanted, like you said to y'all points, sometimes I do want to see her get more aggressive. But her senior season, she's been doing that, and she's been playing at a very aggressive high level. Of course, that was 4 years ago. I mean, that's cool. In terms of winning basketball, shout out to Falcor. I appreciate you. Been a long time, sir. In terms of winning basketball, she may be very well. Okay, let me read that again. In terms of winning basketball, she may very well be better than your current favorite. That's a lot to take in if you're a Caitlyn fan. That's a lot to take in if you're a Caitlyn fan. That's a lot. Shout out to Paige, bro. She gonna have, again. I got her and Enrique as the best backcourt, and it's not. I don't think it's gonna be. I think Kelsey and Caitlyn will be rivaling the two of them. I think Dallas got something special brewing in the wings. So shout out to Dallas. They got to fill out the rest of the roster. All right, we got a lot more Paige talk. We're gonna get back to Paige quickly. Damn, people were mad when they said the same thing about Caitlyn. No, I told y'all from Jump Street last year I thought Caitlyn was gonna be the best point guard in the league when she walked in the WNBA. Period. And I'm telling you now, Paige is gonna be a top 5 point guard when she walks in the W. Now, the Los Angeles Sparks, they got the number 1 pick. I see my girl Dearica Hamby. There goes Cam Brink looking great. Obviously, and Ray Burrell, Azare Stevens. And they were disappointed. Look at their faces. Look at their faces.
Just ruining the pizza party.
Hey, you know what's funny is Cam kind of saved this whole look. Cam was like, no, we got to clap still. We got to still clap. We got a good pick. Cam was like, oh, shoot, we didn't get the number 2 pick. Let's still clap because again, it's okay. It's okay that y'all got 2. The question is now, if you're the Los Angeles Sparks, Jordan, who are you? I'm going to pull up this draft board. Who are you drafting at number 2? Are you going Olivia Miles, or I don't blame you on this one, Ghost. Are you getting Olivia Miles, or are you drafting Kiki Iriafen for this number 2 pick?
I think if you draft based on need, you'd probably go with Olivia Miles. I've watched a lot of Olivia Miles. I think she's really good. She's got good vision, everything like that, but I would go with Kiki, man. I think Kiki's gonna be special. She has the crazy post game. She has a lot of offensive skill. I would go with Kiki, man. I really like what I see from Kiki.
Chat, what do y'all think? I want to hear what the chat thinks too. Let me know. Y'all picking Miles or you picking Kiki? Brazy put, as a Sparks fan, I'm disappointed we don't have the first pick. Brazy, it's all good. Y'all still got some good picks at number 2. So Jordan, you are drafting Kiki?
I'm going with Kiki.
All right, so that's funny that you say that. I was saying that as well on my live. I probably would still draft Kiki regardless. Why? Dearica is going to be a free agent. She's getting older. Cam is coming back off of ACL surgery. You're going to need a forward regardless, even though this is going to be the weird thing. It's going to be a log jam at the power forward or 5 position.
Yeah, right.
It's going to be a log jam. Jam. Yeah. Now the question is, okay, cool. How are you going to play all 3 bigs? You're not going to play them all at the same time. So either Kiki's going to come off the bench or Cam is going to come off the bench. Personally, you got to just let the 2 of them play and figure it out. I don't know who's going to come off the bench, and I'm not going to say who right now. Cam is coming on. People don't forget that. People keep forgetting this. Cam is coming off of ACL surgery. Right. And you're not, and especially if you know she's going to be a talented player in the future, you do not want to rush her back, 1. Right. And you don't want her to get re-injured, 2. Right. And she's gonna need time to acclimate herself back to her body and just running and playing physical basketball. And she's got to get over the mental hurdle of just tearing her knee and
Yeah,
saying,
right.
"Yeah, I can go run again." Like if you never had an ACL surgery, please
Yeah,
just hold your reservations. But this is speaking
right.
from somebody who has had one, and this is from playing basketball. You want to get yourself back into a position where you're strong enough and confident enough in your knee that when you're making these jumps or when you're making these cuts, that you're
Right.
not going to get re-injured. Ask Klay Thompson how he felt when he came back. You know, like there's so many athletes that have Kristaps Porzingis. Like there are so many athletes that have had an ACL surgery. Derrick Rose, and it takes them time. And the fact that you're going to get a Kiki coming off the bench or even in the starting lineup with a De'Arica Hamby. And again, who knows? What if De'Arica Hamby doesn't have the best year and you don't want to resign her? Like
Right.
there are so many things, and you be pairing her with Kiki, like you be pairing her with Cam. Now, that's the argument for Kiki. And again, if y'all know me, I'm always drafting best available talent. That's my mantra. I'm drafting the best available talent. This is the other thing. So I want to read some of these comments. The other thing, I'm going to read your comments next, Ghost. The other thing is this, right? On the flip side, if you draft an Olivia Miles, you already have you basically have your starting five for the next 3 years, at least. You have your core. You got an Olivia Miles, you got a Rickea Jackson, you have a Cameron Brink. If you bring back a De'Arica Hamby, you could do that. So be it. You're good. You know what I'm saying? Now the question is, how much better can you be? You just have to bring auxiliary pieces to fit around them. Ray Burrell, Azare Stevens, etc. Ari McDonald. You know what I'm saying? So the question is, I always ask this: is Olivia Miles better than Kiki Iriafen? Now, this is the other thing too, Jordan. If you're Los Angeles, do you draft Olivia Miles just so you know that she can't go to Chicago?
No, I don't think you can think like that. I don't know about that.
Why can't you? I'm not going to let you get a better player that's going to be better than you for your team than she would be for mine.
I think
you can get guard anyway. Why would you?
I think the other thing also, the other reason why I would draft Kiki is like I'm not convinced that Olivia Miles is going to be like a superstar, all-star point guard in the future. Yeah, like I've watched enough tape where I don't know, like there's like I see her hand get caught in the cookie jar a lot, a lot of swiping, and I mean, I don't know if she is like a franchise point guard. That's another reason for why I would pick Kiki.
And that's funny that you say that because between Kiki and Olivia Miles, only one of the players that I mentioned had been nominated for AP National Player of the Year, and that would be Kiki.
Right.
And that's why I'm always drafting best available talent. Even how about this? You could draft a Kiki and then trade somebody. Make a trade.
Right.
Trade somebody and bring somebody else in. You know what I'm saying? Trade Kiki to somebody else for a point guard. Let me read. I want to read some of these comments. Y'all double tap the screen, share the like. I appreciate share the live. I appreciate y'all. Let's read this. So he put shout out to Ghost, longtime listener. Shout out to Ghost. Hold for Juju in 2026. I would love to do that. Then he also put Rickea. I don't know what you mean by Rickea, but yeah, Rickea would be awesome on this team, obviously. But not disappointed that we have the second pick because Miles and Iriafen are good prospects. They are. June Doll, if you don't know me, I'm aware. Let me read some of these other ones. WNBA still drafting for needs and not talent. YOLO. That's hilarious.
That's
and a lot of the fan base are saying the same. I'm not going to say silliness, but the same rhetoric. They're saying the same. Oh, you draft what you need for you do not draft what you need for your team. You draft the best available player, and then you figure it out from there. You trade. This is literally why Angel Reese is not on the Dallas Wings, and it made no sense that they didn't draft her. Oh, we have Natasha Howard. Oh, we have Kalani Brown. Oh, we got Tierra McCallum. Who gives a you know what? You draft the best player that is available, and then you figure it out whether you need to trade somebody or whomever. Like you draft the talented player that's younger. It's just that it's very simple. And like it's funny because every single draft, every single year, we it's like we have the same silly conversation. If you haven't learned, you draft the best available talent. Period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. And like sometimes there are exceptions to the rule, but most of the time you are drafting the best available talent, and then you kind of figure it out from there. Is it a good idea to draft another forward? There we go. Is it a good idea to draft another forward when you have other needs that need to be filled? Yes, TX. Why? Because you can get somebody in free agency. You already have an Odyssey Sims that can play point guard. Odyssey Sims is averaging almost 20 and 10 this year, and this is after she got traded. You get like so.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Even if they're trash, you get another. You get Hannah Hidalgo next year, or you get a Juju Watkins or a Flage or whomever. Like, who cares? Not that you're not going to win a chip anyway. So you get the best collection of talent. You're not. They're not going to win. If you get the number 1 pick, the number 2 pick, you're not going to win a chip.
That
so
is
you might as well just get the best talent in the building, trade away the people that are trash, and then you keep rebuilding from there. But yes, you draft the best talent that you can. You get the best talent. I think about it like this, Jordan. When the Sixers got Jahlil Okafor, they had Joel Embiid, and then they had Ben Simmons. They all played similar positions, right?
Right.
I want to say that they traded Okafor for a top 3 pick. And they ended up getting Markelle Fultz. Now that was their fault for drafting Markelle.
It just didn't work out, but
yeah, of course, exactly. But the fact that you have that asset, you can trade. And again, they played all 3 of them. Right. Like you draft the best available talent.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You need to collect assets because you just get rid of them for somebody else, that will fit, because there's always somebody that's looking to make a move or something. Yeah. Most definitely.
Absolutely. So yeah, TX, to your point, I would draft Kiki and I wouldn't think twice about it. And I like Olivia, but I truly, knowing me, I might draft Olivia Miles just to spite the Chicago Sky. And I'm not playing, like, because I wouldn't want, and this is me as a GM, not me as like, oh, I hate the Chicago Sky or anything like that. My mind is, I'm not gonna let another team get a point guard that I know is gonna be really beneficial to their team and make their team that much better, and my team is not gonna be that much better regardless, right? Like I'm like, if it, that's just a me thing.
What are your thoughts on Olivia Miles? Like potential wise. I mean, I know she's good too. Like.
Potential-wise, like all WNBA type performer.
Yeah, like, is she going to be a top 5 point guard in the league when she comes in? Like Paige?
No.
Is she an all-star point guard in the future?
Or for her rookie?
At some point.
I think she's a top 5 point guard in the league in her career. Yes.
I mean, top 5 in a league of 12 teams, like.
No. Regardless, I mean, there's going to be 16 soon, but I think she's a top 5 point guard in the league in the future. Yes. I think she's I don't know. I think she could make the all-star team in her career. I'm not going to say that she's like a bona fide all-star. I think she's a great player.
I just want to see more. Like, I just want to see more,
I do too.
Like the jump shot comes and goes and just I don't know. I just want to see more.
Let me read some of more of these comments. I want to read a lot more of these comments in the chat. Make sure y'all double tap the screen. Double tap the screen. We got 54 likes. We got 30 people. We got almost more people than we got likes. Double tap the screen. Share the live, please. I appreciate that, y'all. Double tap the screen. Let's see if we get some more people on this. Ravard said, Jundal GM looking for shooters. Sonia or Olivia. Let me see. Dallas is not a normal team. They get the number 1 pick. Injuries. Germany played a big role. Who's gonna be so Jordan? So Jordan, you're saying Kiki for sure is number 2, and then Olivia Miles is at number 3. We could talk. So if you're Chicago, let's do this. Let's do this. Yeah, the draft order is, so right now it's number 1 is the Dallas Wings, number 2 is the Los Angeles Sparks, number 3 Chicago Sky, number 4 Washington Mystics, and then number 5 is Golden State. Let's do this, Jordan. Let's assume let's assume Los Angeles drafts Olivia Miles. Who are you drafting if you're the Chicago Sky? I mean, I feel like the easy pick is at number 3. They're going to draft Miles if she's available. So let's scratch that. If you're in Chicago and Olivia is gone, who are you drafting at number 3? I appreciate the likes, y'all.
I mean, we'd become super overloaded in the front court then over there, but I mean, I don't see how you don't go with Kiki if Miles is gone. So if Paige is gone and then Miles is gone and you're Chicago, you wouldn't go with Kiki?
No, I wouldn't. I want to hear what if you're gonna go Kiki, that's fine too. But I wouldn't.
I mean, because that's literally the whole talent argument that we just.
I know.
That we just talked about.
I know.
But if you're Chicago, like, I think I'd go with. I mean, I know it doesn't make sense because there's like there's 3 front court players, but I mean, you would have a whole extra year to evaluate Angel Reese and Kamila. I mean, I would probably take Kiki and just figure it out.
That's okay. So if it were me, and I think if Kiki does not go number 2, she's gonna go to Washington. And Washington, if you're the Washington Mystics who pick at number 4, that's your best. You're praying. You are praying that Los Angeles drafts Olivia Miles, because Chicago's not gonna take Kiki, because I'm gonna say Angel is gonna be better than Kiki in the WNBA period. So I'm gonna go Angel over Kiki. I'm gonna go Kamila over Kiki, and that's probably why I wouldn't do it. And when it comes to best available talent. Now,
Well, I mean, like you would have to. I mean, you'd have to see what's on the table in terms of trading at that point,
correct.
because like you've got 3 front court players that are strictly front court players.
Yes.
There's not a perimeter bone in those people's body.
Yeah.
um,
Not yet.
so I mean, you're looking at Citron, maybe. You
Sonia,
know,
that's another one that they're saying at number
I
3. I
mean,
don't know if she's gonna go as
that's
high as
but I
her.
mean, that's kind of reaching, isn't it? Don't you
A little
think?
bit, yeah. I do.
You
I
know,
personally think that, yes. Personally, I do think that. So that's what. Okay, so that's why I bring this up. So if you're Chicago and Olivia Miles is not on the draft board, you were devastated, because she
yeah,
would fit this
right.
team perfectly with a Kennedy Carter, with an Aim Freeze, with a Kamila Cardoso. And it goes back to your superstar point. You wouldn't need her to be the focal point of any offense, because you got a big 3 already. She could
Right.
just fill in as a great role player, average 8 to 10 assists, and just let the others cook. Now, if Olivia Miles is not on this team, I'm gonna finish this. So Kiki would probably slip to number 4. And if you're Washington, you're thankful for that, because you can get Kiki, and then who might be arguably one of the most talented players in this draft class. And 2, they pick at number 6. So not only will you get Kiki, you would have her paired with Aaliyah Edwards, and you'd have somebody else playing with the 2 of them. And that's that is your ideal draft board scenario if you're Washington. Now, if you're Chicago, that means you're picking between Sonia Citron, Anissa Morrow, and
Right. Yeah, that's right.
and again, the question is, are you going to draft Anissa Morrow at 3? I'm not saying no, and shout out to the Morrows, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Truthfully, I don't know how I feel about that too much. So, like, again, if you're Chicago, you are praying that Los Angeles takes. You are praying
How
that
many
Los
how
Angeles
many
takes,
how many
Olivia.
franchise players do you see in this draft?
2.
I see 2 also.
I see
I
2.
only see 2. Yeah.
I think if Kiki goes to Washington, she is the franchise, and I think Paige Bueckers is the franchise. And
Right.
then I think everybody else is kind of a role player that kind of fits in and gets in where they fits in.
Yeah.
Truthfully.
Yeah. It's my preference to call them franchise players as opposed to generational players, you
Oh, that's
know.
fine. Yeah, I don't blame that. Let me read that. Kiki will have to expand her game out to the wing some. Notre Dame and USC will be good. Yeah, she'll be a good. Thank you for that, Courtney. I want to bring that up. I'm gonna bring that comment up right now. I promise you, I'm gonna bring that up. Probably draft and trade. TX says. I
Yeah.
have a feeling.
Yeah.
He said, "I have a feeling your whole list will change midway through the conference play." I agree. I agree with that. This is just a early preliminary draft. KG said Sonia Citron. You just said talent first. I agree, but I don't think that she's more talented than the 2 other bigs that I just mentioned. You draft the next best guard, draft Kiki, and trade the worst of the 3 bigs between Reese and Cardoso. Kiki can shoot. Let's see. A lot will change during free agency.
Yeah, that's and that's the most important thing is that I mean all these hypotheticals, but a lot of the stuff can change.
Oh, for sure. Kiki will probably fall out of the lottery because all the lottery teams have a really good rookies. These teams don't look the same. Rookie forwards. Let me read this. Y'all haven't watched Citron play for real. KG, if you telling me she's as talented as number 3, I mean, I love you sometimes, bro, but you know how I feel about that one. I don't think she's well, I ain't gonna say too much. Sonia Citron, if you go number 3, shout out to the Chicago Sky. That's all I'm gonna say. Now, Courtney brings up a really good point. Now, this is somebody who I think is a great player, and she could have went number 1 if she probably wasn't injured. AZ Fudd, Jordan. What do you think about AZ Fudd from UConn? The Paige Bueckers. She's also in the backcourt with Paige Bueckers.
You think she could have been drafted higher than Paige Bueckers?
Yeah, she was the number 1 recruit at one point. Yes, she was the number 1 recruit. She got hurt. She got hurt. She was the number 1 recruit out of high school at one point. Yes. The thing I'll say about AZ is she's projected to go as high as number 3 and as low as number 12.
I
And as
think
low
I
as
think
number
I
12.
saw her at 3 on a mock a while ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's projected to go as high as 3 and as low as 12. So she's a first round pick. The
That's right.
issues with her is that her shooting splits aren't as good. She's a knockdown shooter, but her shooting splits aren't as good. And she's been injury plagued. And she plays with another guard who she's if you're Chicago, if you can get the AZ FUD who we believe is, who that woman was when she
The
was,
original.
yeah, then you
Yeah.
got to steal at 3. Honestly, you got to steal 3 because that would be a perfect backcourt mate with Kennedy Carter because she's bigger. She can play defense a little bit and she can knock down shots. Her shooting splits aren't there yet. Her shooting splits are not there. They're not going to say that she can shoot, but that's tough, man. But I'm gonna tell you this: she might if she ends up in number 5 to Golden State. If she ends up at number 5 to Golden State and Kelsey Plum is not there, she might win Rookie of the Year. I'm not gonna say she will. Paige Bueckers, I have as a pick, but she is that talented. Honestly, she is that talented as a scorer.
I watched her a lot last year, but I haven't been paying super close attention to her this year. So
Yeah,
we'll see how it plays out this year.
She only played 2 games this year. She hasn't had many notable games. TX said they could draft Moreau and figure it out.
That's kind of what I think. Yeah, it's kind of what they should do, I think.
June Doll said Miles isn't a shooter, and that's what Chicago needs. Washington would be perfect for Kiki. If Washington Brazy ends up in Kiki, I'm sorry. If Kiki ends up in Washington, bro, they're gonna be faithful.
Can you imagine in what world would Kiki fall that far? Other than injury.
World where if Olivia Miles goes 2, Kiki is going to Washington. Kiki is absolutely going to Washington if Olivia Miles goes number 2. Anissa will drop out of the lottery undersized. I agree. I think so too, Falcor. Do you think Kiki is a franchise player? I do if she's in Washington, yes.
Yeah.
Washington does not have any forwards. They got a lame Beldon who hasn't played. Sky has to go with Miles if the Sparks don't take her. I mean, yeah, they don't have to. AZ is good, but she has to declare and she has to come back healthy and be really good. AZ stock will drop, son, 5 through 9. She had to show she's healthy. Not enough talk about Malonga. We're going to talk about Dominique Malonga, actually, and Georgia Amore and Rory Harmon. That's funny that you brought all 3 of them up. If she comes back this year and healthy, I can see her going 3 or 4 to Chicago. I agree with that. Let me see. Washington has so many forwards. I mean, Ariel Atkins, Brittany Sykes. Who else is a forward for the Wings? Emily Engstler, who's a free agent. I mean, I don't think they got many forwards that are like Aaliyah Edwards. You put Aaliyah Edwards and Kiki in the front court, and you pair them with one more person.
Mm-hmm.
You get a center.
I think someone said Pow in the first round. Pow's probably going in the first round.
Pow is absolutely going in the first round.
Yeah.
Shakira, thank you, Falcor. Shakira, I don't know how that slipped my mind. So you can put Shakira, Aaliyah, and Kiki. That's your front court. That's your front court. And if Beldon's not coming back, that's your front court right there.
How much Dominique Malonga have you scouted?
Not enough. Let's just say that.
Not enough. Yeah. I mean, I've seen highlights and stuff like that, but that's not enough, to make a decision whether or not. I mean,
Stephanie Dolson, a good point. That's a good point, Mike. And yes, that's a good point. Yeah, I'm still getting Kiki. If Kiki is going to 4, she's gonna be starting, and Stephanie Dolson's gonna have to come. Big Mama Steph coming off the bench. Shout out to Big Mama Steph. Even though she plays center and she can knock down 3s, Dominique Malonga is dunking. She is Dolson. Okay, all right. So back to this now. Back to this. Let me ask you this because it's just been a lot. We're gonna talk quickly about this. And actually, speaking of the Mystics, let's do this real quick. This would be a real quick thing. Elena Beard, shout out to the Washington Mystics. Elena Beard of the Mystics. She's going to the Hall of Fame. That was one of my favorite players when I was growing up. Shout out to Elena Beard. Jordan, what are your thoughts about this? And obviously, I feel like it's well deserved.
Congratulations to Elena Beard, man. I love Elena Beard. She was one of the great players right around when we really got into the WNBA, right?
Yeah.
Like she's one of the names that I heard growing up. I mean, congratulations to her. Huge fan.
Yeah, I mean, again, I remember when I believe she played at Duke. She played at Duke.
Yeah.
So I used to watch her go against Ivory Lotta a lot, and Ivory Lotta is one of my favorite players. Lena Beard has been a great player, period. She's for Los Angeles Sparks winning a chip. She's a 4-time All-Star, all defensive player. Like she won defensive player of the year.
Twice, yeah.
she's been a monster. So shout out to
She
Alina Beard.
and she's also one of those players that like we followed her in college and then we went into the pros and watched her as well. So that was really cool.
Now, outside of pros going into college, let's speak about this. We gotta speak about the Seattle Storm, Jordan. Now, I don't know how much you've heard about the Seattle Storm, but right now there's an EEOC lawsuit facing the Seattle Storm team for Noelle Quinn bullying players on the team. And the fact that I'm saying bullying players on the team is crazy.
Right.
So some of the details that have been quote unquote announced or whatever is the fact that one, this is insane. One, Jewel Lloyd, and this is I want to say this with not a grain of salt, but allegedly Jewel Lloyd has been bullied, and she is the person that kind of, I guess, started up this lawsuit. They've had players on the Storm like Nneka Ogwumike who have been excluded from player meetings when the players had players only meetings because of this, and they talked about it. They didn't want Nneka to be a part of this, and I'm gonna take it a step further, Jordan. So Skylar Diggins Smith was one of the players that, quote unquote, again, this is all alleged. This is not my
which means it's true. No, I'm just kidding.
But she doesn't follow Nneka Ogwumike on Twitter anymore. And some of the things that I've heard are one, Jewel Lloyd was being bullied because she did not run plays exactly how Noelle Quinn did it. Two, there was biased coaching in the Olympics, and I want to say that Noelle Quinn brought that up against Cheryl Reeve and to Jewel Lloyd, hey, this is why you didn't play in the Olympics, blase, blase, blase. Three, Skylar Diggins Smith was trying to light a fire under Jewel Lloyd by like saying words and et cetera, et cetera. It's just a lot. And in four, I'll say this. I've seen Jewel Lloyd compete with my own eyes where she's walking out of the games with ice bags on her knees. I don't think she was as healthy as she could have been this year. And I think it's unfair that she, as a veteran, as an Olympian, as a champion, I want to see a scoring champ. I don't recall me if she's won an MVP, Joe. I don't think she's won an MVP.
She hasn't won an MVP, but she won the scoring title last year, I think.
She's one of the better players on this team.
Yeah.
The fact that she's being treated like this is crazy. What are your thoughts about this, though?
It's really unfortunate, but I mean, I'm assuming this happens in a lot of locker rooms in America. You know, I mean, it kind of, I guess it kind of shines a light a little bit about why Seattle last season was so like kind of dysfunctional. Yeah, disappointing. Yeah, they weren't as good as they, you know, probably presented themselves on paper. You know, it's really disappointing. It's messed up.
Again, I'm hoping that this isn't true, but like I can only think about a lot of instances in this year. Like when Noelle Quinn was, she walked up to Christy Sides at the end of the game, and she was trying to like, I'm not gonna say she tried to get in her stuff. You know what I'm saying? I think about that all the time. I look at this picture right here where, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm just like, oh my god. And I like Coach Quinn because she's a great coach, but it's looking like one of the two is not coming back next year, whether that's Quinn or whether that's Lloyd. And if you're Talisa Ray, you're going to figure out which one of the two is not coming back. And it's unfortunate because if you're Ray, you might want to trade Lloyd because she's a free agent anyway. You know what I'm saying? And the question is, stay there.
And also, you know, like also Jewel Lloyd would, I mean, you get a lot back for her because she's, I mean, I think we had her in the top, like top 12 or something like that.
I have her top 15. Jewel Lloyd.
Yeah, like I mean, she's very high in both of our estimations. So, yeah, that's something that they might want to consider.
TX said trade Jewel. If you trade in Jewel, they're definitely going to be worse. They're not going to be a top 5 seed, and they might miss the playoffs, especially because Nneka's not coming back. I don't think Nneka's coming back at all. I don't think that. I said that from Jump Street. Something in me don't see this going. Let me read this quote. Excuse me. Jewel Lloyd shooting percentage of cubic zirconia. Something in me don't see.
What is that even?
But I'm from Dallas. OBO, she going to Dallas, mama. She going to Dallas. Bad season for Lloyd, but the trade might be best. Hey, the question now.
It's a reasonable take.
Who's playing? Where would you want to see Jewel Lloyd play if she is traded? Golden State.
Golden State. Man, you think everybody should play on Golden State?
Dude, you're playing for a billionaire owner and you get to rewrite your own history. Of course, I would absolutely play for Golden State. And you're playing in a billionaire the people who are the vets that'll be smart enough to go there first are gonna benefit more because you're gonna be a hometown legend and you're gonna be beloved for like that would Golden State's gonna be a free agency destination. People are gonna want to play in San Francisco for billionaire owners. Yes.
Could they get her on the Liberty? No.
Could they get her on the Liberty? You're gonna trade. You're not gonna be able to trade. Who are you gonna trade? Leone? You're not gonna. Who are you gonna trade? Who are you gonna trade for Jewel Lloyd? Courtney Vandersloot? That's not gonna happen. So who are you gonna trade? Because if I'm every call from it starts with Leone and at least maybe Sabrina. And if not that, then I'm hanging up the phone. Like,
I mean, Sabrina would head back to the West Coast.
So you're gonna trade her for Sabrina? If you're Jewel, they're not trading her for Sabrina. They're not gonna trade her for Sabrina. Sabrina's younger and she has more upside than Jewel Lloyd does at this point. The Aces, Tyrese, that's a great pick. The Aces, and Mike said it too. These are some great, all of them. Okay, so OVO said Jewel Lloyd to the Valkyries. That's something I mentioned. Falcor said Phoenix to replace Diana. That would be a great one. With her, Copper, that's not a bad, that's a great idea.
That's offensive firepower.
That would be a great. Yeah, that would be great for real. Aces would trade for her. That would be another great one. Why? Because they're gonna lose. Do a sign and trade with Kelsey Plum. Who knows? And then do a 3-team trade. A draft pick and a player. If I'm the Aces, I don't want her though, but I see them doing it. I wouldn't mind getting her on that team. 3 picks for Mabry. I'm gonna need more for Jewel. They're not gonna trade that. I'm gonna tell you right now, KG. They're never doing that again. That's not gonna happen again. You're not gonna see. Hopefully, you're not gonna see a GM. That GM. Greg Bibb got fleeced, or who is it got fleeced? I'm sorry, Jeff. He got fleeced.
Paglioka.
Jeff Paglioka. Let me pull up.
Oh man,
did you see the results of this trade? I want to bring that up. That's funny. I'm gonna try and bring that up if I can.
We're doing an autopsy of the Marina Mabry trade.
Yes, Jordan. They brought it. Okay, here we go. Let's pull it. I have it right here pulled up. Let me show you this. This is the trade right here.
Okay, Marina Mabry.
The Sky received Marina Mabry, right? And a 2024 second-round pick. The New York Liberty received Leone Fibich from Chicago. That can make your stomach hurt right there.
It's over. Yeah. It's over.
And let's keep going. Dallas Wings, they got the first-round pick from Chicago, the 2 first-round picks, and they got the right to pick swap next year if they were to get a first-round pick.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, they preach. And then, we could just stop there. And then they end up trading Marina anyway.
Oh.
Take a glance at that right quick, please.
Dude, this is
stuff that gets people fired.
So it's like they got Marina Mabry, but they lost
everything
to the Mercury. They lost a second, a third, another second to the Liberty, Leone Fibich, a first, and a swap for the first. Oh my good, Marina Mabry or Rudy Gobert, bro? Who is the
Marina? It's Marina.
You think so?
Yes, Rudy's got credentials. It's Marina. That's that right there should get somebody fired. And I'm not saying that I'm not advocating for somebody to get fired from their job, but if you're a huge basketball like that's not.
What did they think? That's not. What did they think was gonna happen? Like.
I have no clue, but that makes little to no sense. Honestly, that makes little to no sense. That trade, and then trading Marina halfway through the season this year made no sense. That made what are y'all doing, bro? What are you doing?
Porsche brought up that Jeff didn't do it. It was the old GM James Wade.
Well, James Wade, he gave them a shout out to James Wade because he that was a forget you, I'm out of here type of trade.
Oh my goodness.
There's only one ball, and Colin Jewell would absolutely work. I disagree. They already played on the Olympic team together, so I disagree with that. Miss Ashley said that trade was Wade. I appreciate that, Miss Ashley. Jeff never made it. I thank you for that, y'all. Thank you for that. Porsche, all y'all, I appreciate that. James Wade, shout out to James Wade for that. Destroying the Chicago Sky.
Shout out to James Wade for delivering New York Liberty their first championship.
Essentially. All of that, and people are saying they should have traded Mabry. I'd never said they should have traded Mabry from Jump Street. What about AT and Bonner to the Phoenix Mercury? That would be really great. Jewel got 0 minutes when Kyle was in. Jeff traded Marina to repair the damage.
Bro, that would be the all-time oldest team, I think.
Yeah. And I don't know if that would actually.
Bonner.
But now back to the sky. I mean, I'm sorry, back to the storm. So you have a Jewel Lloyd or Noel Quinn problem, and they're gonna have to figure it out because obviously lawsuits aren't good. They gotta figure that out. They have to absolutely figure that out. They gotta figure that out.
Yeah,
And
it's sad, man.
I mean, it is, and I don't like. I thought it was another player. I ain't gonna say no names, but I thought it was another player that was getting bullied. I was like, that's why. I said, now that makes sense.
It's just insane that like with all that going on in the locker room, they still squeezed out like 25 wins or something like that.
She says she a gangster. She says she a gangster, Jordan. You know what I'm saying? She says she a gangster. So she's just being herself, and that's cool. Jewel was on the team last year when Quinn was still coach. So before we speak about Kamila Cardoso, TX, I'll answer this to your question. There have been whispers in the tea leaves that she is not like Noelle Quinson's Jump Street because of the way she's coached. And essentially, this was the year where she was like, "No, this is just too much," you know. And then they have the WNBA PA president, and then obviously you see what the impact was with the Caitlyn fans or some the cultists rather. I'm going to say the cultists with the Caitlyn cultists who are like, you know, really getting into people this season. So she's like, I just don't want to take this anymore, and I don't blame her.
Yeah.
All right. Now let's speak about Kamila Cardoso. She is in the WCBA. Jordan, she has been killing. She has been killing in this league. Again, I'm gonna pull up some stats, some highlights from this: 25, 13, 3, and 1. What are your thoughts about Kamila, and what are you excited for year 2? And I guess what can we expect out of her? Do you feel?
So I did not watch this game.
I mean,
but 25 and 25 and 13 anywhere is really good. I mean, we just want her to just exercise, you know, like her skill package, you know, because when she gets the ball, like she's so good, man. And I mean, on defense, she's good too. She blocked Wilson like 4 times in a row or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, she's incredible. So
again, I told you she reminded me of Baby Joker, and here she goes with a rebound. I told you that. I think she reminds me of Joker. Honestly, I'm not saying she's going to average a triple double in the league.
Yeah.
But to me, Kamila Cardoso is a highly touted, highly skilled player who eventually will round out into a really great, authentic player. Shout out to Mike. That's great for Cardoso. Mike loves Kamila. Mike understands exactly what I mean when I'm talking about. I'm calling her Baby Joker. Mike understands, and he says that this is this guy's best perimeter post player. Yeah. I'm not gonna go as far as that. Yeah. But she's hooping, man. She has really been. She's been showing it. You know what I'm saying? She's been showing it this year. And again, like her in China doing 2-a-days and developing in the type of player she is playing. I want to say she's playing for the Shanghai Swordfish.
Yeah.
Like, look at her. She just look at this. Like, she's getting better, bro. She's getting better. She's getting better. She's able to clean up her own misses. She's rebounding. She's passing well. Again, you can see that she's been really working out. I mean, if she's gonna hit a fadeaway right here, Jordan. Like, okay, here it is with a repost, pull. I'm gonna miss that. I'm gonna go get my rebound. I'm gonna finish this. Like she's been playing, bro. She's been playing. She has been playing, and I can't really say too much about like the fact that she's just been growing. Again, this is a really raw, talented player. They drafted her at 3. Tyler Marshall's gonna get her game correct. Right. And this guy is as good as she could be. Honestly, I think she's gonna be a really great player in the WNBA. And again, she's just been killing it in China. Shout out to Kamila for that. And yes, TX. Hey, Tyrese said she's more like Sengun. I don't blame you for that one. That's not a Sengun. Alfred
I mean, like Sengun is Baby Joker, so
yeah, no.
And so this is like Baby Sengun.
Jewel Lloyd and SDS and NECA all unfollowed each other. I know. I saw that. I heard about that today. Jewel Lloyd played horrible. How is that Quinn's fault? I don't think she played horrible, honestly. Let me see. What was the other one? We got to stop being married to stats versus lesser competition. College matchups too. We'll see. When you're a young player, this performance definitely matters. I agree with you, Katie. I absolutely agree with you, especially if you're a young player who doesn't primarily. She's not putting up 20 and 10s. So if she's doing this and getting used to doing it often, that's a huge benefit for her in her game. All right. So that's Kamila in China. Shout out to her. monster double 25 and 13 again. She's just been doing the damn thing, and it's just gonna be really hard to deny her talent moving forward next year. All right. Speaking of denying talent, the 6 coaches for Unrivaled have been announced today. And before I get into the 6 coaches, not today, rather, they're announced over the weekend. But before I get over, I'm sorry, before I speak into those coaches, Ray Burrell and Jordan Canada were just announced in the Unrivaled rosters. But speaking of which, Teresa Weatherspoon, Phil Handy, and Nola Henry. Those are 3. Adam Harrington, Andrew Wade, DJ Sackman. But the first 3 that I mentioned are obviously the 3 most notable coaches that have signed up for the Unrivaled League. Jordan, what are your thoughts about the coaches for Unrivaled?
I mean, it's cool that Teresa Weatherspoon was able to get a job, relatively quickly after being let go by the Chicago Sky. Phil Handy, obviously, like everybody kind of knows who Phil Handy is, which is pretty cool. I'm just curious how the player selection and the coaches are gonna kind of match. Like, do you know anything about that? Like
Yes.
how the players are forming themselves?
Yes, I do know. So the coaches are drafting the players. It's a pool, and it's like they do a round robin. So it's like a snake. Essentially, it's like a snake draft. One person drafts this person, then the next one, then the next, like it just keeps going through.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. So they're most likely look.
They should televise that. They should televise that.
They should. Hopefully, TNT will get them to do it. I love Angel Reese, and I hope that she plays for Phil Handy. And the reason why I'm saying that is because Phil Handy will get her to where she needs to get to. Phil Handy, and I like Teresa Weatherspoon too, so I'm not gonna don't get this twisted if y'all hearing me saying this, but Angel Reese would benefit immensely working under Phil Handy for a summer.
Yeah.
If you give her Phil Handy for 8 weeks, she is going to become even better of a pro. Yeah. Obviously, Phil Handy's worked out with Jewel Lloyd. She's worked out with Juju Watkins. Like, you name the player, he's worked out with Davis. Her. Like Anthony Davis, like Phil Handy is the guy that you're gonna want to work with if you're a WNBA player for sure. Rakia Jackson will benefit from his game. From her game, like, bro, like if you're Angel Reese, you got to make sure you're on the Phil Handy team. And I love Coach Spoon, but I do want to see Angel Reese with Coach Handy. I do want to see that. But yeah, we don't need a teaspoon reunion. Poor said, that's funny. We don't need to stop being married. Okay, let me read that. Good for teaspoon, yeah. But for Unrivaled folds, just like every expansion league, USFL folded. This women's sports is no value. What do you think about that one, Jordan? From JSAL.
I mean, that's kind of
you brought up the USFL point.
In the grand scheme of things, like I do agree with that. This is not. I mean, I cannot foresee this being a 5-year endeavor. Do you? Like, I don't think it's going to be I don't think it's going to be 5 years. I think it's mainly used as, leverage in the CBA negotiations. I think everybody kind of knows my stance on that. So in the grand scheme of things, I do agree with JSal, but I think it's at least going to happen for 1 year, and it'll be interesting to see how it goes. There is legitimate excitement around it. And, it'll be interesting to see players that don't normally play together, coached by people that they're not normally coached by, play in a different game. It's gonna be, exciting. Is it a legitimate alternative to the WNBA? No, but I think it's gonna draw viewers, and it's gonna provide leverage also in the CBA negotiations.
And I think I don't know if Unrivaled's here to stay, so be it. But I do think that I think it's a great start. And Falcor just brought this up. Unrivaled is not an expansion league. It's a litmus test moving forward. Jay Sal put no Clark, no views. Anna, they should have made it the same rules as the 3-on-3 Olympics. At this point, they should just make it 5-on-5, honestly. Like, I don't, it's great that y'all got a 3-on-3 league, and I think it's interesting, but I probably would have just put it as a 5-on-5 league and tried to get more players involved straight up. And I know they did it on 3-on-3 because it's like, okay, you can make 10 teams of 3. You know what I'm saying? You have a shorter roster. If you have 30 people, it's easier to just get 3-on-3. But at this point, with 36, you might as well just put 3 or 4 teams and put a 5-on-5 league and get this thing going.
Do you agree with Jay Sal's point, no Clark, no views. Like, do you think the
No,
league has
absolutely
grown to
not.
the
No.
like it's grown to the point where you think like I think it'll be more views than in the past, but no Clark, no views. I mean,
Jason, I don't agree with that. No, I don't
I
agree with that.
I,
No,
I think enough seeds have been planted now where it wouldn't totally fail.
no, not at
I mean,
all.
obviously, it would have way more with Caitlin Clark,
Of course,
um, but
absolutely.
but I think we might be a little bit past that point now.
Angel Reese has been putting up million. People are gonna watch Angel Reese. Period. Maybe she's not as big as a draw as Caitlin Clark because of her, just because of who she is and because of how polarizing but she's polarizing. People watch Angel Reese. Period. So people are gonna watch Angel, like just her alone. Just that alone. And we could do this. And Jordan, you just brought up a good point. So we're already past the point where we're saying, "Oh, no Clark, no views." Why? We just watched that this WNBA Finals was one of the best or one of the most watched WNBA Finals in the last 27 years. So it's like, and that had obviously that didn't have Caitlin in it, but people wanted to see where these players played and how the storyline progressed. But now I don't think Unrivaled is just gonna have no views. I don't think that at all. TNT is not picking them up to have no views. But shout out to TNT because they need to start doing some commercials. This just make no sense. Let me read some of these comments. Anna Baker's okay. Anna, I read that one. Jundal said it won't get over 300K views. I'll do this right now, Jundal. We can make a bet. Chat, put something in the bet. Obviously, for not money, put something in it. Well, we could make a bet right now that it will generate over 300,000 views. I'll take you on that bet right now, Jundal. And I don't know what we got to do, but I'll take you on that bet. Chat, y'all put some consequences in the chat for me, but for both of us. But I'll take that bet right now that it will go over 300,000.
You have
KG
to shave
says,
your beard.
huh?
You,
I'm not
you
doing that. I'm not
have
doing
to
that.
shave your beard.
I'm not doing that. KG said that not for a bet of that weight, and not for that. KG said the Clark had no wait. The finals had no Clark and drew 3 million views. Hello. Juno said Angel Reese hasn't put up many 1 million view games. That's not true. J Sal, nobody putting fans in the seats. All numbers don't lie. That's also not true. The Aces again, the sold out. The Dallas Wings have sold out. They're gonna sell out next year. I mean, I don't tell me that nobody's not watching these teams, bro. Like I've been to these arenas. That's not true at all. Why would we choose to watch Angel? What did Katie say? After Paige and Juju into the league, we're talking about Unrivaled, and people are still gonna watch Angel because she's a good player, superstar talent. I called for Wings tickets, and they told me they're damn near sold out. Yeah, TX, they've been sold out. So if you're trying to get Wings tickets, make sure Hey, if you see me at the game, say what's up. Mike, how do you explain the drop off in the finals? I don't think that there was a drop off in the finals. I think that Caitlin's not playing, so a lot less people watched. But 3 million people is still 3 million people. The numbers were better, but still low for Clark's views. Again, I understand if it's not 10, 15 million for Clark, that doesn't mean that is trash. People still watch, even if it's a million or 2 million people. Write in the comments and I'll screenshot it. I don't know how to write in the comments, but we can do it. I'm ready to see Rakia Jackson with a ton of minutes. I will give you a under 400K for any amount. I'm not betting anybody for money. And Jay Sal and Jundal, I'll take y'all both up on the bet. I'm going over 300 and 400K. Y'all got to put your consequences in the chat. It's sad people want Unrivaled to fail. Even if Clark doesn't join, she still wants the league to grow. Average attendance is 11K. Let me read this last one. Different types of fans. Many people love the game at the highest level. You're not. I can see Unrivaled getting 1 million views for a game or two.
Probably like the first game, just to see what it is.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, like we don't want Unrivaled to fail. I mean, I actually want Unrivaled to succeed because then like the ownership in the negotiations has to take it seriously. So then they will, give more to the players in the negotiations. So the better Unrivaled does, like the better for the players actually in the WNBA. So I mean, we want Unrivaled to succeed because it's better for the players overall.
Sell out whatever you want. I'm maxing it out. Average 400K for entire games. I don't believe that. Let's see this. So TNT wants and needs Caitlin viewers though. Yes, obviously.
Oh
TNT,
yeah, for sure.
Mike. They
For
want
sure.
obviously they want Caitlin playing in the league.
For
And
sure.
if I'm Unrivaled, I'm offering her $5 million, bro. If I'm TNT and Unrivaled, I'm offering her 5 million, 10. You pick the number, bro. Just write it on the contract. Anything less than 15 million, write it on the numbers, bro. Put it on the like. That's simple. How about $1 million per game you play in? Like to offer her the money. Like, it's just that simple. Offer her whatever amount, $1 million per game. Let's see that. You do realize this is during NCAA March Madness, NCAA playoffs. Yeah, I'm good with that. Stick with golf. I would not stick with golf. I think she's being funny though. I would not stick with golf. I'm not picking golf for basketball. So sorry about that. And how about this? If she plays, it's just gonna get her sharper for next season anyway, because she's gonna be playing basketball. Like she won't come into training camp and preseason rusty. She'll be all these 30 players that are gonna play. They're gonna walk into their respective training camps with something else in their game. And can you imagine if Caitlin Clark were to work out with Phil Handy for 8 weeks?
I know.
Like, what are we talking about here, bro? Do y'all like basketball or not? Like, what are we talking about? Like, that absolutely would be an amazing sight to see. It would have been cool. And I'm going to read the last few of these comments, and we're going to get to our last topic. It would have been cool to see non-WNBA players. I disagree with that, Anna. I think that they should have got more collegiate players in Unrivaled, like a Paige, like a Juju, like a Hannah Hidalgo. I feel like that would honestly boost up the competition amongst the players. Like, get some of these collegiate players and run a 5-on-5. That's what I would do if I were them. She doesn't need to go play on this 3-on-3 league, 5-on-5. I agree. Now the 5-on-5 thing, I agree with. I would rather this league, but again, they were doing 3-on-3 because they don't have enough players to run a 5. But now, if you can get some collegiate players, they should probably do. I would run a 5 if you could, honestly. All right, let's. The last topic I wanted to bring up, Jordan, the WNBA draft. So we spoke about this briefly. I want to look at this. There's a few drafts that I want to look at, a few draft boards. One of them is from Winsider. The other one is from, who is it? Sporting News? So Sporting News. All right. Winsider has Paige Bueckers going first overall, almost 22 points per game, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. And that's a pick. I mean, that's just a solid pick. They have Kiki Iriafen going number 2. Number 2, not 3, not 4. Number 2 to the Los Angeles Sparks. And they're saying regardless of having De'Erica, regardless of having a Cameron Brink, they're still drafting her too. So Kiki, Jordan, they agree with both of us. They're smart enough to say best available talent, which means number 3 is Olivia Miles, who's averaging 17, 7, and 6. Great numbers, senior guard. Number 4, they have Sonia Citron. There you go. So there you go, Jordan. A lot of people project her either out of the first round or as high as number 4.
Out of the first round?
Yeah.
Who's saying that?
I've seen her in second round draft boards.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Number 5, Anissa Moreau, Golden State. Number 6, Serena Sundell, KSU from Kansas State. Number 7, Dominique Malonga. Now, Braden loves this pick right here. He's saying if she goes to New York, they're gonna repeat, and then they're gonna win again if she goes there. 19-year-old center out of France. Now, this is ridiculous that 19-year-olds can get drafted internationally, but they can't get drafted domestically. That makes no sense to me.
They spelled Dominique's name wrong, and that's Dominique.
Dominique.
See, I should have been an editor.
Dominique. Sparks got to take Olivia Miles though. Mike is high on Olivia Miles, not like high in a bad way, but like he's really intrigued by her game, saying she's the second best player in this talent in this draft. Indiana Fever, they have drafting international. I have no clue how to pronounce this young woman's name. Sivka from Slovenia.
Sivka.
That's as much as you're gonna get. I think the team will trade Alyssa Smith because her fit has been problematic since Aaliyah Boston arrived. That's what they wrote. Sivka is a 6'4" forward who can play the 3 or the 4 in the WNBA. She's averaging 15 points per game and 9 rebounds per game through FIBA competition, and she's 18. And
47% from 3.
Yeah, she's nearly shot 47% from 3. So keep that in mind. That right there is, number 9, Seattle Storm drafting Georgia and Moore. Kentucky, 19-7. She's great as a point guard, obviously. Number 10, Tahina Pau to the Chicago Sky. 11 points per game. She's shooting almost 40% from 3, even though she's 5'9". She is a knockdown shooter. Absolutely knockdown shooter. And then Minnesota Lynx, Aoki Lee from the Kansas State University. 19 and 2 blocks per game. This is great. If you're Minnesota, this is exactly what you need, honestly. They needed some big bodies to compete with Breanna Stewart and John Quill. And then number 12 is AZ Fudd, which, again, I've seen her go as high as 3 and as low as number 12. What are your thoughts? Okay, before I say that, I'm going to bring up this other one. What are your thoughts about that, Jordan? We'll just stay on now. What are your thoughts about that?
About what? Flood being
I
at
guess
12?
anything that stands out to you, rather.
So I remember looking at a lot of mock drafts from a couple months ago. It seems that I mean so the general trends are that Olivia Miles has shot up
Yes.
because
Yeah.
a lot of mocks a couple months ago, because I've been looking at mocks for the last like 6 months or so. She was projected at like 6, 7. Now she's projected at like 3. And the person that took the greatest dip was like Anissa Morrow, went from 3 to 5. So I don't know if it's just Olivia Miles' early season performance, and people really think that she's a franchise point guard. Um, but that's my biggest takeaway is that little area right there has shaken up the most.
We're gonna see because this draft, I don't see Fudd going number 12, but this would be a great pick if she were to. Like I don't see that, but if she were to, that'd be great. If you're Indiana Fever, Sivka, what's her name? Sivka. We need to go find some highlights. We'll
Yeah.
be talking about her next game. I'm gonna go. Y'all stay locked in. We're gonna be talking about. I have no clue how to pronounce this young woman's for Sivka. Sivka. We're gonna be talking about her next game. I promise you, we're gonna talk about her. The order seems about right. Said J Sal. I hope people watch and learn some other names from some new names other than the mock drafts. They need to move the wings to the AA center. Yeah, no, I agree. AZ, if AZ is healthy, you better take her. I agree. People always thought Olivia was that good. They just were concerned about her injuries. And then Tyrese says she's another Phoebich type player. And if you got a Leonie Phoebich on Indiana, yeah, that's exactly what you need. Now, this is another one. Janiyah Barker, I've heard of from
Yeah.
UCLA. She's a monster on the boards. But again, I'd probably still would take an 18-year-old that's playing in FIBA. I
Betts.
would. Just seeing Lauren Betts. If Lauren Betts decides to declare or Flau'jae Johnson, like this draft board is going to get shaken up before the end of the year. Yeah. This is not going to be the draft board that we're going to see moving forward. But we'll see. Jordan, closing thoughts before we close out this mug.
Closing thoughts. Well, I mean, if you're the LA Sparks, I mean, you're just hurting right now, right? Like I mean, that's the, you know, predominant closing thought. Like, I mean, if you're an LA Spark fan today, you're just like, what the fuck happened? Like you're just like, what the fuck? So it's just I mean, they'll figure it out, but yeah, it just hurts today if you're a Sparks fan.
If you're a Dallas Wings fan, we up. We up. Wings going to the playoffs. Y'all mark that down. I got them as a top 5 seed. Mark it down. Those are my closing thoughts. Wings going to the playoffs. We up. Cameron Rakia are solid. And I appreciate y'all, everybody on the live Falcor, everybody Pocha, Braden J Sal. I appreciate you, Mike, of course, Ghost, everybody, KG, Tyrese, all y'all. I appreciate you, Jordan. Jordan, gotta say Jordan, you of course.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we here. That's episode 53. We'll be back tomorrow live at 6. We appreciate y'all. Deuces. Check out the YouTube. Sub to the YouTube channel, man.
Take care.
All right.